Well, since we have a telescope that lives at Starfront in Texas now, I figured we would change things up a little bit here. Set up another streaming recording session here in the spare bedroom. Take you on an initial night here with me at Starfront with my Seestar S50. So I'm Chad. This is the Easy Astro Images channel. We're going to play with some photons today. Unfortunately, it happens to be pretty bright moon out there, but that's fine because to show you guys how all of this stuff works and everything is simple. Big shout out to all of the channel subscribers, Buy Me a Coffee subscribers, all that stuff. If you guys want to support everything that we're doing here, you can look down in the bottom in the description or click that join button. So we are working on collecting data. We got data being collected outside on one of the Seestars, the S30. We've got data being collected and some testing going on down here in Texas. So let me just kind of switch over here and show you guys exactly what all we got going on. So the first thing is pretty much got Starfront's website pulled up here, and it's really nice for everybody to see. So they've got pretty much your whole astronomical darkness and all that kind of stuff like that, and your observatory status. This is just off of their main website that anybody can look at. And what you can do is you can kind of scroll down through here and you can see the cloud coverage, radar. They've got this pretty cool light pollution map here, all that stuff. You can see the forecast, and then of course you can see the clear sky chart that's going on. We've got sky view, and then of course we have all of the live building cams. Now I am with a bunch of the Seestars down here in building 9. So basically my Seestar right now is pointing to the north in equatorial mode, but it's against the wall that the camera is on. So it's not down here on this end. So it's actually pointing the opposite way. So I'm debating on whether or not I want to get a peer camera installed. Last night was my night 1, and I did suffer from a cable snag. So want to go ahead and probably get a peer cam just so I can keep an eye on it and then try to reverse the Seestar in some cases if I see that there is a snag that's going on. The Seestar behavior, it's not very, you can't really map it out. Like you don't know if it's pointing to an object in the south, if it's going to rotate this way or if it's going to rotate that way. Sometimes the logic inside of it seems to vary between Seestar to Seestar, model to model, and has also been changed during firmwares. So in one end, it's pretty cool that we are kind of like pioneering this. You know, there's a lot of things that the whole Seestar Starfront community and everybody is trying to like figure out. Like we're all kind of like in this together. For example, ZWO never really made Seestars to have 20 or 30 of them like all grouped together. So, you know, there's certain networking things that Starfront has like worked through. So that way you have access to yours and all that kind of stuff. So there's just these little bitty things here. But as far as like how everything works, it honestly, like I've said before, couldn't be easier. You know, it's basically just like if it was sitting in the driveway. So this is my Mac Mini that is sitting down in Texas. That's all mounted. So we've got the CASA switch app that's right here, and everything is powered up and everything. So I don't have to worry about doing that. But if I need to cycle power, we always can. And then we're logged in with the remote desktop right now. We have our SwitchBot app right here, which will be connected to my Wi-Fi that we probably don't have to do anything with at this point right now. So let's just go ahead and let's just turn the Seestar on. It's still light out down there for about, I believe, another, I think, what did that say? Another hour, I think. So we're looking at my local time. It says that this is what this is set up. So we're looking at like my local time. We're looking at astronomical dark is about in 59 minutes. So yeah, about an hour behind here, which, you know, would show you why everything is going on. And you can hear Coda behind me, who is very interested in what we are saying. Say hello to my boy. Fresh out of the doggy hospital last weekend, but he is recovering well, thank goodness. So the whole thing just starts off with pressing the little switch bot here to turn the Seestar on, and you'll see it just kind of do its little thing. And then takes about, 20 to 30 seconds for the Seestar to actually power up. And once it power up, it will actually automatically connect wirelessly to the Mac Mini. The Mac Mini is connected to Starfront's internet via the Ethernet port. Now we're all connected. We can just kind of get rid of this and minimize that. And you can see there we are in Rockwood. We can go ahead and check everything out. Don't really need to look and go through anything. I guess if you wanted to take a look real quick at the album last night, did some work on the bubble and really want to shoot the eagle. The problem is the eagle is to the south and so is the moon. But, just looking at a couple hours on the eagle, I mean, it looks just fantastic. The amount of detail that we were able to resolve for just a couple hours. And this, of course, is like the untouched AI type of image. So no stacking or anything like that, processing or any kind of stuff like that. So this is what we're looking at right now. And at this point, we're pretty much ready to go. So I can show you the whole process. The way everything goes is when the Seestar does its whole little thing and captures its images. Pretty much all I do is just go down here to Finder, and then I can go to my network and just log on to my Seestar, and there are all of my images that will be saved on here. So there's nothing on there right now because I actually did a format, but everything will be saved on there. So we could take a look at the plan that I ran last night, which is like this eagle and bubble type of plan. And I'm going to actually delete that and pretty much just set up a plan tonight just to run probably on the bubble, since I could do a good comparison between what we did here in a couple days and then like what we did down there maybe in a night. So just go ahead and go in here, do a little search for the bubble, and then we can just add that to the plan and have it pretty much just shoot that all night long. And we'll be doing 20-second subs. Just because we've got excellent polar alignment and everything doesn't mean that we can still get those longer subs. So I just take the chance and just do the 20-second ones. That way I'm guaranteed to just get more data, time on target versus actual sub length. Not a big deal to me. So we're just going to add that straight to the plan, and then we can back out. And then really at this point, all we have to do is just press execute. And whenever the time comes, it will just execute the plan. So if we just hit execute, go ahead and go out of here, and we can go into stargazing, and it's saying that it is dark enough now that it will go out and find and start shooting our target. And there we go, first image coming in. And as the sky darkens up and everything just starts to build over and over and over, we will start having us a fantastic bubble nebula, even though the moon is out, so we can't get as much out of those dark skies as possible. But just watching the eagle last night just build up and build up, man, the amount of like just texture and vividness and stuff that I saw just in the first hour was pretty amazing. Also looking to make sure that we've got those cable snags going on by seeing that we're still plugged in there. And usually when you get these things running for a little bit here, usually it takes a good 2 or 3 minutes to have your Seestar just kind of like settle in and start stacking frames like appropriately. So you could see that like as of right now, we're pretty much 2 for 2. So once it starts kind of going, it just kind of gets going. It's just kind of a thing that it does. Not 100% sure why they behave this way, but it just seems to be the way that they behave. So this will just keep stacking up and everything else. Other thing that we can always check on too is we can always check on like local forecasts and stuff. So if there's winds and stuff that are going on, then you're going to get, of course, some star trailing, and you're going to get some drop frames, which was kind of happened earlier in the night yesterday. And the reason why is there was like 7 to 10 mile per hour winds and like 15 mile per hour gusts. So if we can actually go and take a look at the weather that's going on down there, and we can see, you know, if it's windy or whatever else. I've got some actual stuff just kind of saved here to see what's going on here. So right now, yeah, so see there's like a 7 mile per hour wind and like an 11 mile per hour gust. So eventually, you know, things will settle down a little bit and we won't have to worry about the wind and stuff as much. So just something to keep in mind, that like, you know, when you get started real early in the night, it's kind of like that heat and all that thermals and stuff that's going on, that you're probably going to end up getting a little bit more drop frames and stuff that you typically would. So usually at the beginning of the night, this is kind of just like throwaway data anyway, but it's literally this easy. So I'm just going to shoot this target all night, let things run, pull the data down, do a little bit of processing and stuff like that on it. I've got plenty of bubble stuff that I did here that I really want to make some processing videos on, but I'm really anxious to do like a comparison between the two to see like what one night of bubble down there looks like versus one night of bubble here. So hopefully you guys are excited about that too and want to come along. So Seestar, Starfront, it just doesn't get any easier than this, and that's what we're all about here. Easy astro images, great quality, even better quality once CWO drops us some better equipment. And we got our Seestar in Texas finally. The dream has come true. We got a scope down there. So appreciate all you guys, and we will talk to you later. Peace.